how I be feeling sometimes, but it is what it is.
Mama JJ in the kitchen cooking up again. All the words I say can write the perfect scripture. The way I harmonize these rhymes is motion pictures. Phases almost forgot the mission. Never lost my pivot. Battle tested at the lowest point in my life. But my daughter need me. I gotta get it right. My brother in the courtroom trying to put up a fight. They hit him with them numbers. It was a scary sight. Family ain't been the same since my mother passed. A lot of things were said and done that you couldn't laugh. My dad guided me through the storm and he cleared my path. That's why I'm on another level like a Birkin bag. Sometimes I sit back and think, what would life be like if Poe was still alive? Hums and Dick riding the bikes. Everybody getting money and we eating right. But maybe that's a story for another life. If it wasn't for y'all, I don't know where I would be. Probably sitting in a cell with a red ID. I fell off a couple times, but I stayed on my feet. All them losses that I took turned me into a G. If it wasn't for y'all, I don't know where I would be. Probably sitting in a cell with a red ID. I fell off a couple times, but I stayed on my feet. All them losses that I took turned me into a G. I really gotta focus, trying to keep my options open. Them labels, they really watching me. Ain't no time for joking. If I fuck up, then I'm fucked up. Well, that's what they be hoping. But I'm here, made my mark. I'm just hoping y'all take notice. I've been through hella pain, cold nights, hella rain. All the times I was in need, I couldn't call my mama's name. Crashed out really bad, it felt like the walk of shame. But we all gotta learn, so I charged it to the game. Like the dopest was the roach, and swear to God it got me open. Now I'm tearing up that 9-5 that empire, y'all got me going. And I do it on my dolly. When I leave, nobody know it. Out of town, I hold it down. Yo, the baby, they be knowing. And my city, it get litty. And my family getting busy. And you know it's all love for whoever rhyme with me. Y'all know Yola hold it down. From the liners to the crown. Fucking up the algorithm when you hear this fire sound. If it wasn't for y'all, I don't know where I would be. Probably sitting in a cell with a red ID. I fell off a couple times, but I stayed on my feet. All them losses that I took turned me into a G. If it wasn't for y'all, I don't know where I would be. Probably sitting in a cell with a red ID. I fell off a couple times, but I stayed on my feet. All them losses that I took turned me into a G.
Yola, baby.
I hope JJ's not recording this shit. Well, I hope JJ is recording this shit. Baby, I'll ride for you if you ride for me. Mama JJ in the kitchen cooking up again. Baby, I'll ride for you if you ride for me. And we could take a trip beyond our fantasies. Yeah, it's up for you, cause you stuck with me. And you know that's where you wanna be. Baby, I'll ride for you if you ride for me. And we could take a trip beyond our fantasies. Yeah, it's up for you, cause you stuck with me. And you know that's where you wanna be. I know things really got rough and he put you through the storm. Hoodies and umbrellas kept your feelings dry and warm. He never treated you like a queen, more like a pawn. Anything you wanna do, baby, I can put you on. Different temptations going through my mind when I see you. Looking so beautiful, baby girl, I just need you. Damn, I really hate the way that he mistreat you. I just wanna lay up on the beach and get to see you. And there's no way around it. You was lost and I found it. Had you caught up, you never doubted. Your love is drowning, got my feelings surrounded. Late night walks and sex talks, keep our friendship balance. I know things can be a little different and they never wanna listen. I'm there whenever you need me, got my undivided attention. No baby, this ain't simping, maybe a little pimping. No need to demand your respect, you already in position. I'll ride for you, if you ride for me. And we could take a trip beyond our fantasies. Yeah, it's up for you, cause you stuck with me. And you know that's where you wanna be. Baby, I'll ride I'm recording this shit. And you know that's where you wanna be. Well, I hope JJ is recording this shit. And you know that's where you wanna be. Mama JJ in the kitchen cooking up again. And you know that's where you wanna be. And you know that's where you wanna be.
What's going on, world? DS1 Ross, and we back here on Sheep Stay Sleep TV. Shout out to everyone who support the platform. Much love, much love, much love. Salute to everyone that's in the building. Salute to everyone that's in the building. If you are here, you can hear me clearly. Please drop a 1 in the chat. Please drop a 1 in the chat. Drop a 1 in the chat. Let me know if y'all can hear me clearly. Please drop a 1 in the chat and let me know if you can hear me clearly. Let me know if y'all can hear me clearly, family. Okay, I see a couple of ones. Okay. Okay. Glad you guys can hear me. I'm glad you guys can hear me. Shout out to everyone that's in the building. Shout out to everyone that's in the building right now, man. Salute to y'all. Salute to y'all. And of course, we are back right here on Sheep Stay Sleep TV. I'm y'all host, DS1 Ross. Of course, I appreciate all the love and the support. Salute to everyone that's in the building. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday to everyone, man. If you are in the building, welcome to Sheep Stay Sleep TV. I'm y'all host, DS1 Ross, of course. Make sure you double tap y'all screens, and hit the like button on the way in, because we going there today. On a Sunday, we got to go there today, y'all. We definitely have to talk about this. We definitely have to talk about it. But before we get into it, right, make sure you guys hit the like button. Also, hit the share button, y'all. Hit the share button. Share it on y'all community tabs, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Anywhere you share content, share the show. It is very much appreciated. Be very much appreciated. Salute to everyone that's in the building. Shout out to the cynical one in the building. The first one in the building, one of my lovely lady mods. Salute to the lovely lady mods. Shout out to you, Sin. I appreciate you. Happy Sunday to you. Good to see you. Shout out to Miss L'Oreal in the building. Another one of my lovely lady mods in here today. I appreciate you, L'Oreal. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. So we 2 for 2 thus far. What's up, Angie, baby? Happy Sunday to you. Happy Sunday, Angie. Good to see you. Good to see you. Shout out to my man, Self University in the building. Salute my brother. He says, great topic. Shout out to you, bro. Salute. Salute. Shout out to my man, Bob in the building. What up, Bob? Salute, Bob. Appreciate you, bro. Good to see you. Shout out to my man, Big Dice in the building. Shout out to Big Dice. Salute, salute, salute. Appreciate you on a pull up, bro. Happy Sunday to you. Shout out to Team Guardian. What's up, Shatera? How you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. It's been a minute. Shout out to Shatera. Shout out to my man GQ. What up, GQ? Salute, my brother. Salute, salute. Appreciate you, Brody. What's up, JB? Hey, JB, how you doing? Happy Sunday to you. Good to see you up in here. What's up, Just Me? What's going on, Just Me? Fierce Soul in the building. Salute, my brother. Salute, salute, salute. Good to see you as well, Brody. Salute. Shout out to my man City Boy Floyd in the building. He said, work time, I'll catch the playback. Salute, bro. Appreciate you. Shout out to everyone that's pulling up. Like I said, make sure y'all hit that like button on the way in. Y'all see the show. Y'all see the show. Hey, Scorpio. Shout out to Miss Scorpio in the building. We got 4 of my lovely lady mods in the building today. Good to see y'all. Good to see y'all. Good to see y'all. Salute, salute, salute. Shout out to Scorpio in the building. What's silencing the strong men in church? Let's talk about this. We have to talk about this. And of course, we're going to show y'all the evidence. But we need to talk about this today because it's a lot going on. It's a lot going on, man. Anybody coming in the chat trying to derail a topic, just get them an Uber. Get them a nice Uber, ladies. Get them a nice Uber. If they coming in here trying to derail a topic, just get them an Uber, okay? See, because topics like this, right, is what they don't want people to talk about. Because again, a lot of this stuff, religion, politics, a lot of this stuff is interconnected or interwoven. What's up, Brad? Salute. Right? A lot of this stuff is interconnected with politics. And when we have these types of conversations, you have people that's going to come in and derail a conversation. So anyone who comes in and tries to derail a conversation, just get them an Uber, ladies. Just get them an Uber, you know. But today's show is it's a very important topic. It's a very important topic because a lot of male content creators, right? They have the conversation about what men are supposed to be doing in relationships, what it is to be a man, you know, what's masculine, what's the masculine role, and you know, they like to talk about manhood, right? And it's nothing wrong with that, right? But what we have to understand is these conversations, right? I think a lot of times these conversations, they get watered down because it's lacking a certain substance, right? And when we have this conversation about men in relationships and what men are supposed to be doing in relationships and things of that nature, right? I feel like what's always missing is what men are supposed to be for themselves before being the man for others. I think that part of the conversation is not spoken about enough. But this is why we do it over here on Sheep Stay Sleep TV. This is why I go out of my way on my platform to speak about the areas that isn't spoken about enough. Because I think when those areas are actually spoken about and given clarity on, then brothers are able to make a connection. You see? And one of those areas is who we are to ourselves, right? How do we be strong for ourselves? How do we be charismatic and resilient? You know, all the things that we say we need to display for others. How do we cultivate them ourselves? How do we display them to ourselves? How do we prove ourselves to ourselves as men? You see? And this is the conversation we're going to have today. You already know, Scorpio. You already know. What's up, Simply Pets? Have you ever been to church where they have male worship classes for young men? Male worship? What do you mean by male worship? I don't know about male worship, Simply Pets. I don't know about that. Right. And I think that where we look for manhood at today, where we look for things that we need as men. Hey, Camille, good to see you, love. Good to see you. Good afternoon to you. Happy Sunday. Hope all is well. Shout out to you. Another one of my lovely lady mods in here today. Shout out to you. Good to see you. Right? I think that as men, we look all in the wrong places. I think that us looking for strength, leadership, guidance, I think we look for those things in sports. I think we look for those things in video games. I think we look for those things in entertainment, rappers. But the place where we need to see it coming from, it's not really coming from. Follow me. The place where it needs to be coming from, it's not coming from. What up, Cuzzo? Shout out to Junior Mafia in the building. Right? We need to see it coming from God's house. Because all the other places I just named, they come from the world. It comes from the world. And the world is what break men down. The weight of the world is what break men down. So if we learning from the world, how are we ever going to overcome it? If when we go in church, you see this nigga y'all see the problem? Y'all see the problem? You see what I'm talking about? We got men doing this. So when we talk about the effeminate male, the effeminate man, or the effeminate boy, rather, where does that boy find his source of strength? Where does that boy can find a resource to locate his identity as a man? Where is that? If it's not in sports, we know it's not in sports. I'm going to show you why it's not in sports. Look, I'm going to show you why. I'm going to show you why. Because we're going to cook today. We going there today. Look, I'm going to show you why it's not in sports. Because this is what they're doing to us. Look, this is why it's not in sports. This is why it's not in sports. Look at your mans in them. Look, one of the most aggressive guys. Look, one of the most aggressive dudes. This is what they do. This is what the world does. This is who men who don't have an identity look up to in the world. Look, Russell Westbrook. He's supposed to be aggressive. Look at Russell. Look at what they do to us. Look, pink man with tights on. Look. So where's your son gonna find this in sports? Huh? He gonna find this in sports? He gonna find manhood and masculinity in sports now? Look. Oh, it gets nastier. This guy's a freak. Freaky man. Look. Look at him. This is zesty. Zest monsters. We not supposed to say nothing about this. Look, zest monster. This is a zest monster. He's a zestiana. Look at this. This is in the world. Soy boy. Shout out to the realest. Shout out to my man Shots in the building. Pink man in leggings. Shout out to my man Art of War. Look, this is what's going on. Now, what's that football player name, y'all? Who know the football player name that be wearing dresses to the stadium before the game? What's the football guy name? See, because I'm trying to show y'all something. I'm trying to show y'all something. Because see, we gonna get to the church. Oh, it's gonna get nasty. It's because this stuff needs to be called out. What's silencing the strong men in church? Why isn't men speaking up against this? Huh? Why aren't the men in church speaking against this stuff, preaching against this stuff? Why? Why? You said his name Debo Samuels? That's his name, right? Let me see. Debo Samuels. I think that is his name. Oh, yeah. Is this him? The NFL guy? Debo Samuels? Nah, this not him. Nah, this not him. Nah, that's not him. That's not him, GQ. What's up, Shonda? How you doing? Shonda says, there's a book by C.L. McLean that addresses this titled Until Men Sit Down, a pastoral discernment of the endangered Black churchman. He wrote about this in 1988. Wow. Wow. Shout out to you, Shonda. That's crazy. Kevin Jones. What's up, Kevin? He says, if you're a real man and you in your son life and he looking at Russell Westbrook as a representation of a man, you failed him. You supposed to seed a blueprint for manhood. Facts. 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 Absolutely. I don't think this is him though. When he be coming to the stadium with dresses on, I don't think this is boy, Debo Samuels. I don't think that's him. But the problem is there's not enough men speaking up against this stuff. And this is why I say shout out to the Trump administration for showing that this stuff does not need to be in society. This stuff does not need to be highlighted. Whatever little freaky stuff you want to do, you can do it on your own. But all of this, you need all of these rights and all of this goofy shit. That stuff needs to be eradicated, and I'm happy it did. It needs to be null and void. Because this stuff is corrupting, or it has corrupted, it has corrupted the church. This stuff has corrupted the Black church. In particular, the Black church. And nobody wants to talk about this. And I'm talking about the men. The men don't want to call this stuff out. The men want to act like this stuff should be allowed. We need more men to speak against this stuff. Because little do people know, there's a lot of men out here, right, who are seeking God's voice and seeking the word, and they're being misled. Or they just afraid not to go certain places because of what's being allowed. You see? See, the church done became a show. Now it's about who could scream the loudest, who could play the best song. It's not about really speaking to anyone's issues. This is why you don't have strong men in the church. Because strong men are being silenced. Because they're being threatened of being kicked out of the church, being demoted out of their positions. This is why a lot of men are just opting out of going. Because too much treachery is being allowed. And it's being allowed because it's being funded. It's being funded. This stuff is being funded. That is the problem with the black church today. It's all about money. It's all about money. And the men have sold out for money. And this is what men don't want to call out. Y'all are allowing concerts, devil concerts in the church. I just showed y'all this the other day at Michael Todd Church. They had a concert. They had a whole seance at this man's church. This stuff is being paid for. So men feel like, oh, well, if I don't got no money, I don't have a voice. So let me show you the men who has the voice in the church now. Let me show you them. Let me show you them. See, y'all think this stuff is a game. Y'all think when I say shit, I just be saying it. Look, let me show you. This stuff is funded. Look. It's right here. What does this say? Grammys. This is at the Grammys, y'all. The 2025 Grammys. Zest Monsters. Look. The Queer Awards for gospel. Look. Straight Mooks. Look. Look. They're called the Harlem Gospel Travelers. The Harlem Gospel Travelers. This is why the strong men are being silenced in the church. Look, this is at the Grammys, y'all. Look, y'all think this is a game, right? Look, I'm about to play the video. Y'all think this is a game. Y'all think it's a game, right? Hit that like button if you're in the building. Hit the like button. Hit that like button, hit that share button. Y'all think this is a game. Look.
Thank you so much for joining us here on KEXP. We are listener-powered radio at 90.3 FM in Seattle, 92.7 FM in the Bay Area. You can find us streaming worldwide at kexp.org and also on the KEXP mobile app. I'm Cheryl.
She looked like a damn Satanist. Look at her.
Waters. I'm here in the KEXP studios with the Harlem Gospel Travelers. Wow. I am so excited to have you here. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having us. We're so excited.
A beautiful new
Look at them. Look at them.
New album called Rhapsody. I can't wait to talk about it with you, but even more, I can't wait to hear you perform some of the songs from it. So want to get us started with that?
Let's get into it.
The Harlem Gospel Travelers live on KEXP.
Jesus Rhapsody. Listen, y'all. This is what's going on out here. Nobody's saying nothing about this. They about to win a Grammy. This is disgusting. This is disgusting. Nobody's saying nothing about this. Where's the men at that's speaking against this type of stuff? They always got a prosperity plan for you. I'm going to give you a prosperity plan. I'm going to tell you how to get a jet. I'm going to tell you how to get your bills paid. I'm going to tell you how to get a new house. I'm going to tell you how to get a new business. business plan. I'm going to show you how to grow. I'm going to show you about abundance. I'm going to show you you're never going to need a bill paid again. Look at the shit they doing. Why they got a prosperity preach for you. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They don't care nothing about your soul no more. When the church gonna care about your soul? When the church gonna care about salvation? And your life becoming better. Not you just getting money. Because you see what they doing for money? Jesus is rhapsody. Pure blasphemy. Now you got mooks. Now you got these mooks singing about Jesus. Now you got these mooks singing about Jesus. And niggas not saying nothing about it. Because it's funded. These niggas don't want to mess up their money. See, I done figured this stuff out now. A lot of you men don't call this stuff out because your money is tied to this agenda. It's tied to this agenda. The black church, the Democratic Party. This is why you got so many tranny church houses that are Democrat and liberal. See, now I understand why these men not saying nothing. Because these mooks paying y'all bills. It's coming from the mook money, the mook fund. The pink horsepower fund. Y'all being funded by Cameron, brought to you in part by Pink Horsepower. That's why you niggas not saying nothing in the church. Because your suit, Cameron bought your suit, nigga. Pink Horsepower been paying your bills the last 6 months. Right? See, all you Democrats is brought to you in part by the mook agenda. This is why men in the black church want to talk about everything else. You don't want to talk about what's going on in there. You want to talk about what's going on outside in the world. You don't realize that the goddamn world done took over the church house. This is what y'all don't want to admit. But this is what the people know. You don't want to admit that this stuff done took over the church house. Y'all make accommodations for mooks. Y'all don't want to call this stuff out because y'all money tied up in this stuff. Your votes, your money is tied up in this stuff. Right, Jamal Bryant? Right, Michael Todd? Y'all all part of the black mook agenda. See, they did a show called Orange is the New Black with a mook up there by the name of Anthony Anderson. He's a mook. That's why he can't keep a wife. He's a mook, right? He was at the Diddy parties. I showed y'all the pictures with him at the Diddy parties, right? He was at the Diddy parties. Anthony Anderson. Orange is the New Black. No, they was throwing us off. You know what the new black is? Pink. 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 That is the new black. Pink. Ain't no more, I'm a black man. No, if you're a black man, you're pink. You're a pink man. You like pink. Right? Cameron, Jim Jones, French Montana. They all like pink. Freaky Zeke. Look at his name. Freaky Zeke. Matter of fact, let me see if I could pull up this video from Freaky Zeke real quick before we get back to the Harlem Mook Trotters. Let me see if I could pull this video up with Freaky Zeke. Let me see. Show you how they loved pink. Look. Nope, that ain't it. What the hell? That ain't it. Hold up, y'all. Trying to see if I could pull it up. It ain't letting me pull it up. This weird nigga right here. Yeah, they not letting me pull it up, y'all. But in the video, they had baby oil. That's why I wanted to pull the video up, to show y'all that they keep that baby oil around. Cam, Freaky Zeke, Jim, they keep that baby oil around. And see, not only is this stuff in sports, not only is this stuff in hip hop, this stuff is in the church. Mookanen. Straight mooks. How you doing, Summer? Summer Stanfield. How you doing? Shout out to Bob. Appreciate you, bro. He says, YouTube blocking my comments. Keep it up, Ross. Shout out to you, bro. Shout out to 050 movement in the building. Salute. Salute. They keep that baby all around. See, this stuff done got all up in the church. Look. Look. It's in the church. Look at the name. The Harlem Gospel Travelers. They from Harlem. Harlem. The home of what? Pink. The pink shit. Mr. Pink. The Pink Panther. Pink. Jesus is Rhapsody. Why are the strong men silenced in church today? Because these people right here that we're looking at in this video, right? Look, I'm going to show you why. Because they're scared. Look, this video I'm playing comes from Grammy.com. These mooks are going to win a Grammy. Harlem Gospel Travelers. They're going to win a Grammy. They're at the Grammys. The 67th, 6 plus 7 is 13. Don't let that go over your head. 6 plus 7 is 13. Look, straight rainbow. Mookanen. Mookanen. This is all mook shit. Look, all mooks. Look, all mooks. The Harlem Gospel Travelers. Listen to this. Listen. This how you know this is the devil. This how you know these mooks worship the devil. Look, I don't care if you believe in God or not, but they supposed to be Christians. These are mooks. Look, I don't care if you believe in God or not. There's something about that song that's going to make you lift your hands. See, these are mooks masquerading. These are devils, all demons, all demons. These are demons, y'all. These are demons right out the church house. Look, these mooks. Look at these mooks. See this? You see this? And they're at the Grammys. They're at the Grammys. Y'all see this shit? And none of these, where's all these big time pastors at? Why they not saying nothing? Now, Marvin Sapp could tell his ushers to lock the door, right? But why you won't call this out? Why you want to call people out for their money, but you won't call this out, Marvin Sapp? Because you're in the industry as well. See, if y'all don't notice, these mega preachers, a lot of them are entertainers. They in the entertainment industry. See, this is why they don't call out the things that they're supposed to call out. They don't call out the devil. They don't rebuke the devil. See, this is what I haven't heard preachers do in a long time. I haven't heard a preacher rebuke the devil and cast demons out of the church house. See, that's what's missing out the church. You want all the you want all the carnality to leave the people in the church. You want all the lust to leave, all the greed and all the laziness and all the backbite. You want all that shit to leave the church, right? Then you need to call out the devil that's sitting in the goddamn church pew that you won't call out. Rebuke the devil that you know sitting in a church dressed up as a goddamn woman, and you know that's a man. That's the devil. See, call out that spirit. See, it's not calling out the human, it's calling out the spirit that's on the human. Rebuke the devil, nigga. See, this is what's going on in the church house, because strong men are not afraid of the devil. Because a strong man don't care about losing money when he stand on what's right. You see? This is why y'all won't call this stuff out. The Harlem gospel travelers. These are escorts. These are male escorts calling themselves travelers. Why y'all not calling this out? Huh? Oh. Y'all got more important stuff to worry about, right? Right? But you supposed to be doing the work of the Lord. But you got more important stuff to call out. Like who ain't paying their tithes, but still praying for a blessing. See, this is what y'all like to talk about. You want to shame people into giving up their money. You don't want to call out and rebuke the devil. This is why church is not a safe place for a lot of us anymore. This is why church isn't a holy place like that anymore. Because what the men allow. See, because if a woman run your goddamn church, then a man allowed it. If a woman has more say so over in the church house more than the man, then that's because a man allowed them to. Because that's not the hierarchy of God. That's not how it go. We're not going by what nobody feel. See, this is the problem. Because who's allowing the mooks to sit in the goddamn church house is the women. And when one man speak up about it, you got a whole group of women piling on this man. And then you got the men who's supposed to be in leadership, then start apologizing. See, when a man want to step up and correct some shit in the church house, you got a bunch of women step, hey, hey, ha, 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 hey, yeah, ha, ha, ha. Pile on top of that man. And then you got a bunch of men who sit there and agree with the women. Well, brother, you did kind of come at her a little aggressive, brother. You did come at him a little aggressive, brother. Start soft shoeing. That's why this shit is going on in God's house. This right here. All these fatherless men sitting in a goddamn church house, and you got men doing this. All them little boys running around the goddamn church, and they daddy ain't nowhere around, and you got men doing this. Instead of stepping up and leading those fatherless boys. They want to grow up and be women. They want to make the potato salad. They want to make the potato salad. That's what they want to do. They want to make the drinks. Can I make the drinks? Oh, and then when men start speaking, oh, well, that could be offensive. Yeah, I know the truth is offensive. Yeah, I know the truth is offensive. You know what else is offensive? You parading your ass around here like you a woman and you a man. That's offensive. It's offensive for my son to see a goddamn cross-dresser in the house of God. That's offensive. How about that? Why my nephew and my son and my little cousins and all of that got to see cross-dressers in church? That's offensive. That now, not only is my son could get confused in the world, he could get confused in the goddamn church house because what you men are allowing, because you don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. When they got a whole goddamn queer awards. They got whole gay pastors with podcasts saying things in the name of God. And you talking about a spiritual war? You know the spiritual war you fighting against? Do you know this? The devil's in the goddamn church house. Y'all don't want to call the devil out that's sitting in the church. But you want to keep talking about the spirit of lack. You want to know why shit ain't going right? Because the devil in the church. And y'all don't want to call him out and run his ass out of the church house. That's what y'all don't want to do. Y'all don't want to call things out. Y'all want to be liked. Where does it say in the word of God that when you're called to do the work of the Lord, you supposed to be liked, nigga? You niggas want to be popular. See, I told y'all niggas like to be cute. Y'all a bunch of cute niggas. You want to come up there with your ties on. Yeah, Jesus. It's hot in here. It's hot in here. Pat in your face with your lips poked out. With your little Louis Vuitton tie. You know, he gotta let us know what kind of tie you got on, right? Yo, cute ass nigga. That's why you won't call that man out that's in the back of the goddamn church with a goddamn purse on. Because y'all too goddamn cute yourself. Because you're not going to say nothing to mess up your money. Right? You ain't going to say nothing to mess up your money. Steno. What up, Steno? Salute. Shout out to the Republic. What up, Bucket? I see you in the building, bro. Salute. FTC in the building. What up, Ray Owens? What's good? Salute to everybody coming in the building. Shout out to my comrade, Mr. Sutton, on the pull-up. Salute, y'all. See? This is what y'all afraid to do. If you know the word, right? And this is across religions in general. If you study the prophets of God, those men were hated. Why you niggas want to be liked so much? This is why y'all don't call shit out, because you don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. Okay, but doesn't it say the word cut? Doesn't it say that the word cut? So you don't think you're going to hurt nobody's feelings? So you don't think you're going to hurt nobody's feelings? So you rather not hurt nobody's feelings, right? And not save their soul. So it's your job as a man that was called by God to lead his people, right? Did he tell you to spare people feelings, nigga? Did he tell you to spare people feelings? Especially a man. I don't care if he call himself Cassandra. You a man. And you don't need to be walking in this place with no goddamn purse on. Get out of here. Ushers, escort him out. He's not allowed in here. Get his ass out of here. He's not allowed in here. If you want some salvation, go take all that shit off and come back in here as what you were born as, a boy. Come in here as a boy. When they say come as you are, that don't mean come as a tranny. That means you could come in there and wear what you wear. You ain't got to come in there with a suit on. That don't mean come in there dressed up as Saucy Santana, influencing all these goddamn children. See, this is why this stuff need to be kicked out of the church, because it's influencing the children. You're going to have little boys thinking that's a girl in the church. Definitely a place where it shouldn't be. Definitely a place where confusion is not supposed to be allowed. But you niggas ain't got nothing to say about this. Yeah, look. It's right in our face. Look at Kirk Franklin. He's on the thumbnail. Mookanen. Mook. Where's the masculine men at in church? Where are they? Where are the men of God? These are not men of God. Kirk Franklin is not a man of God. Jamal Bryant, I was about to say something else. But I've been learning to watch myself. Pastor Jamal Bryant is not a man of God. T.D. Jakes is not a man of God. Kirk Franklin, look. He right here, look. We all know where this come from. This what masculine men in the church doing? I love you. We know that's from fairyland. That's from fairyland. I love you. That's from Teletubbies. But I'm wrong for speaking about this. I'm wrong for speaking about this, right? Oh, DS1, you making fun of people. No, I'm not. I'm highlighting the problem that's in the goddamn church. Which is why you seeing more and more gay people come out the goddamn church. Because nobody's speaking about it. No one's speaking about it. And there's a lot of men that's suffering. There's a lot of women that are suffering. You know how many girls want to be straight, but they feel like they can't come to church and be themselves because the message, they not getting the word spoken to them. When they walk in church, only people look at is how they look. You see? See, nobody's speaking about them. The people who's not pushing an agenda. See, I'm getting ready to share a story, not a personal story, of course, but I'm going to play this video with a young brother. I'm not going to say young, he's a grown man, but he's sitting down with another man, and I believe both of these brothers are you know. And based on this conversation, you can see that there's a lot of men who are not getting their problems and their needs met in the church anymore. Church is no longer a refuge for a lot of men. And it's because there's not enough strong men there. There's not enough men there who care. You see? It's not enough men there. It's not a council of men to take brothers in. See, there's a difference with the gay agenda and with people struggling with their sexuality. Let me make that clear. Because this is not a show to bash people's sexuality or who they choose to lay down with, because I don't care about that. I'm speaking against an agenda that has taken over the church house. That's what I'm speaking about. And I'm speaking about the people who take part in the agenda, not people who are struggling with their sexuality, not people who've had traumatic things happen to them, and in return, they felt forced to make certain decisions. They were forced to like things because they was exposed to things at an early age that they weren't supposed to be exposed to. And it opened them up to liking the wrong things. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the agenda. I'm talking about the agenda. And let me pull up a video real quick about the agenda, because this agenda is a real thing. Okay? And this agenda it really has nothing to do with what people think it has anything to do with. Let me find this video real quick, y'all. Shout out to everyone that's in the building. Shout out to y'all, man. I appreciate y'all. Y'all support the show. Hit the like button, y'all. Hit the like button, y'all. Let me see if I can find this video. Y'all give me 1 second. Let me see. Hold up. Where's that video? Let me see. Come on. Let me type it in. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Let me share my screen, y'all. Let me share my screen. Shout out to my man Third Ward in the building. What up, Third? He says, there's no masculinity, manhood, or brotherhood in the church. Just a pastor prosperity hustling and a zesty church staff and choir. Shout out to my man Third, man. There's still some great churches left, bro, but we definitely got to speak against this, man. What up, Smitty? Salute, fam. What's up, 18? I appreciate the support, 18. Eden Sophia. What's up, Eden Sophia? How you doing? Now, let's get into this video real quick. Now, when I first saw this video, I was shocked myself. But the truth always comes to the light. This message is from an OG. Listen to her, y'all. Listen to her. She's getting ready to speak on the agenda. Listen to her.
This is a message from an OG lesbian. The acronym LGBTQ+ is not a representation of a united community, but
You heard that? She said the LGBTQ is not a representation of a unity community. Listen, but the strategic force
But the strategic force teaming of the LGB with the TQ plus that serves a dark agenda to rebrand sexual fetishes and disorders as sexual orientations.
Did not tell you these people were perverts. She just admitted they were perverts. These were sexual deviants. The TQ. They're trying to rebrand sexual fetishes as orientations. These ain't nothing but a bunch of goddamn freakazoids.
For what was once a legitimate civil rights movement, gay rights, has been hijacked quite literally by the TQ plus and used as a Trojan horse to mainstream their degeneracy. First, we have the untouchable T's, the trans cult, who want to sterilize children with puberty blockers, turn all homosexuals into surgical simulations of straight people, and destroy women's rights to enable men's fetishes. Then we have the Qs, young men feminized by sissy porn, furries and pups who fetishize bestiality, and even adult babies who fetishize infancy are all accepted and protected by the rainbow umbrella that magically transforms all scrutiny into bigotry. But the thing that requires the most scrutiny is the unspecified plus at the end, a placeholder for what's coming next. MAPS, or minor attracted people, a euphemism that is already being used to describe pedophiles who are waiting in the wings for their time to shine. Because the LGBTQ plus sexual psyop is not about promoting tolerance of diversity. It's about grooming society to accept depravity. And as an L, I renounce all association with it and the LGBs who are accessories to the fact. And I urge you to do the same and join the movement for LGB without the TQ plus, because we need to divorce people and we need it stat.
Y'all heard it. Shout out to Cuzzo in the building. Shout out to Heels In. Appreciate that super chat, Cuzzo. Salute. Y'all heard it from an OG lesbian. She telling y'all this stuff is an agenda. This stuff that has attacked the church, it's an agenda by the devil. You heard what she said? They're trying to rebrand sexual fetishes into orientations. You see? She said this stuff is not about civil rights anymore. It's not about civil rights anymore. It's not about us being treated fairly like a human being. This is going against humanity. You heard what she said? An OG lesbian. She said this stuff is going against humanity. Let me show y'all. The Harlem Gospel Trotters. This goes against humanity. Look, this goes against humanity. This goes against humanity. This goes against humanity. It goes against humanity. This came from a lesbian herself. So now y'all can stop getting mad thinking that it's a slur or some type of disrespect. Because even a lot of lesbians feel this way. This shit is diabolical. It's going against humanity. And I'm going to show y'all the effects of it. See now, now, here's when we turn up. Because now I'm getting ready to show y'all the effects of this stuff and how this stuff affects people. I'm about to show y'all. Watch this. And how not just affects people, but how it's affecting people in the church. And why we need strong men to speak up and speak out and to rally around this stuff, because we could save a lot of brothers. I believe we can save a lot of brothers. Because after watching this video, and remember a couple of months ago, we watched a video when Saucy told his truth and why he decided to turn into a trans. Because of what happened to him, the trauma he had to deal with as a young boy. And how one day he wants to be a father, and how he's thinking about transitioning back into a man later on in his life and live the rest of his life out as a father. We heard Saucy say this. But we need strong men of God. We need stand-up men. Men that still stand up and piss. Men who are not afraid to lose a sponsorship or a brand deal. Oh, you're not going to be a brand ambassador anymore. Well, I work for the real ambassador. How about that? That ain't for me anymore. We need men like that. What happened to the men like that? You can't move me with money. I'm not a hoe. You got too many whore-like men. You men are out here prostituting yourself, selling your soul for cars and gold. Selling their souls for cars and gold. Not me. And there's a lot of men out here that's suffering right in the church, getting turned out. And none of you men y'all not saying nothing about it. Y'all don't even carry that spirit where these type of men will feel comfortable and will feel protected around you. Let me show y'all. Let me show y'all. Y'all think this is a game. Let me show y'all. Look at this, man. Look at this. Ex-trans woman testifies. So he done transitioned back to a man. Listen to his testimony, y'all. This is deep, man. Listen.
Now that I didn't know then was the reason why I was so frustrated is because you can't put a purpose on an identity that's not yours.
Did you hear that? Let me rewind that. I don't think y'all heard that. I don't think y'all heard that.
And what I know now that I didn't know then was the reason why I was so frustrated is because you can't put a purpose on an identity that's not yours.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? He said you can't put a purpose on an identity that is not yours. There's the source of why these DL men in the church and in society are committing suicide. There's the reason. He just told you why. He just told you why they delete themselves. Because you can't put a purpose on an identity that doesn't belong to you. This shit is deep, y'all. When I first saw this is what made me want to do this show. Because I said, these brothers need help. And there's a lot of brothers who feel like, well, I'm not going to be accepted anyway, so I might as well just. Because when I watched this video, it brought me back to the Saucy, when we did the Saucy show. When Saucy talked about him being touched on by his uncles and his older cousin. He got turned out by men in his family. Jail niggas. His uncle and his cousin used to touch on him and turned him out. This is why he started liking men at a young age. Because he had jail mooks as family members making him do stuff to him as a little boy. This is how he started liking men. I did a whole show about this when Saucy talked about it. Watching this video brought me back to doing that Saucy show. Let's listen. Fair use, YouTube. Fair use. Let's get into it, y'all. Y'all double tap y'all screens and hit the like button. Double tap y'all screens and hit the like button.
You can't. You can't. You can try, and we are gifted and wired in such a way that we can make great careers and we can become successful. But we were all born and created with a specific purpose that's assigned to our identity in the package in which we came here as. And so there was frustration in my life because I was trying to be a nurse and I was trying to do these things that fit the woman that I was becoming.
Well, bro, you can't just gloss over that, because that is the argument talking about assigning at birth. But if God assigns the gender congruently or simultaneously with purpose, then you could do a reassignment of gender, but there's no reassignment of
purpose. There's no reassignment of purpose, which is why I think partially why that there is a lot of suicide.
Oh my God.
There is a lot of still confusion even after. You're seeing people detransition even now because they're discovering that I'm just still feeling like there's something incomplete. There's something still missing. And what I know now that I didn't know then was the reason why I was so frustrated is because you can't put a purpose on an identity that's not yours. You can't.
So what this man just said is that no matter what you want society to see you as, you're always going to be who God made you to be. And you can run from it your whole life. You can be successful. You could get money. You could be a boss. But you're going to always feel incomplete because there's a purpose given to you that's assigned to you based on your identity, your gender identity. God gave men a purpose as men. He gave women a purpose as women. That's it. That's all. And no matter how much you want to walk through this life and try to confuse yourself and muddy the waters and believe all the bullshit you want, if you don't come to this epiphany like this brother did, you're going to end up deleting yourself. You're going to end up deleting yourself. And this is why we need strong men in the church to recognize this stuff and speak to this stuff, because this is the stuff that people are going through. Besides the bills, besides the rent, besides needing gas money, they're going through interpersonal things that the men of God are not speaking to anymore. They're not speaking to that. You speaking to some external stuff. When there's a war going in here, there's a war going on in here that you're not speaking to. That's why strong men are not present in church, because we're not being spoken to. Y'all speaking to the mooks and to them single women. You're not speaking to the strong men, the men who are about something, the men who are striving to be about God's business. You're not speaking to those men. You speaking to the people hollering in the back. They just screaming, making a show. You're not talking to the spirit of the strong men. You're not uplifting us. We don't see God in you. We don't hear God in you. That's why there's a lack of male leadership. That's why. Because there's too many men claiming they was called by God. They're not standing on that. They're not standing on it. Where's the strong men around you? See, if you ain't got no strong men around you, then you not talking to us. That's why. Because you're not talking to us. You're not talking to us. You ain't got nothing for us, but you want something from us. You ain't got nothing for us, but you want something from us. That's the problem. That's why nobody getting saved. Because you're not talking to the demons that's in the church house. The men. The men are not calling this stuff out. The men got to do this shit. The men got to do it. Got all these young men in the church house getting turned out on you niggas watch. You niggas ain't saying nothing. You ain't see that young boy came in the goddamn church house switching and you ain't got nothing to say? You just gonna mind your business. What part of discipleship is that? What part of leadership is that? You not gonna say nothing? That little boy switching, he 9. Why he switching at 9? Why he talk like this? He 9. Why he talking like that? You don't got a problem with that? You don't see that something is wrong? You don't see that it's an evil spirit on that little boy? That's why he talking with his tongue. That's why he talking with a twang and twisting his neck. And you a man of God. You ain't got nothing to say? Oh, you just supposed to mind your business. You ain't supposed to say nothing because you might offend somebody. Well, how you gonna feel one night when you stop at the goddamn gas station and you see that little boy dressed up as a girl trying to sell his ass? How you gonna feel then? Huh? How you gonna feel then? How you gonna feel then? The truth's supposed to offend a liar. You walking around here soft shoeing, soft shoe preaching. Just want to get everybody to dance and shout. Nobody getting saved. Nobody learning the word of God. Nobody digesting nothing. That's why everybody running to the gay church. You wonder why the gay church got 10,000 members, nigga? You wonder why the gay church don't have no problems with their bills? Because they talking to them. You not even talking to us. They talking to them. They over there writing their own gay Bible. Them mooks over there talking about Jonathan and the other guy was lovers. And then you got people on the internet believing it. Oh yeah, Jonathan and such, they actually was lovers. That's what the mooks doing in their church. Getting paid. Ask Michael Todd. Ask Michael Todd. Do he have a problem paying his bills? The one who had a whole seance at his goddamn church. Mookening. A bunch of mooks. Ask Michael Todd. Do he need something fixed in his church? The mook church. Hey, Venus. Happy Sunday, Venus. Shout out to Elisino in the building. Salute, champion. Salute, OG. What up, Art of War? Appreciate you, family. Salute. Art of War says, keep speaking the truth, brother. Salute to your little one. Yes, sir. Appreciate you, bro. Salute, my brother. You see? Venus says, I think they feel that the black heterosexual male has turned away from church. They publicly shunned the church, but the gays seem to be in charge. That's the problem. You just said what the problem is. You know why the gays are in charge? Because the women is in charge. Yeah, I said it. That's why the mooks are in charge, because the women listen to the mooks instead of the goddamn men. There's not enough men standing up in leadership position. They left it to women. Women been leading the goddamn church house forever. So they said, we need to leave it to some men. So they left it to the faggots. They left it to the faggots, their gay sons. Yeah, I said it. They left it to their gay sons and their gay nephews. The mooks. The ones they used to take everywhere with them. The ones they used to take everywhere with them. That never got to hang around men. That always sat around her and her girlfriends after bingo. Those the niggas that run the church now. Niggas like Michael Todd. Niggas like Kevin Samuels. Yeah, them type of niggas. Mooks. Soft shoe niggas. Niggas that got a twang. Jamal Bryant. This nigga always got bumps around his mouth. Who knows what he be doing, Pastor Jamal Bryant? This nigga always got bumps around his mouth. Something going on with that brother. Why nobody ever asked Pastor Jamal Bryant, hey, brother, why you always got bumps around your mouth, brother? Why you always got clusters of bumps around your mouth, huh? Hey, brother, you know, I looked that up. That's herpes simplex 2. What happened? What's going on, brother? Do you need to talk? You running around with HS2 around your mouth. Nobody says nothing. None of the men. The men, I'm not saying nothing to women. I'm talking to the goddamn men. None of these men say nothing. None of these preachers had nothing to say. Do y'all know that this nigga, what's this bozo name who scammed the black community? Jay Morrison. Do you know Jay Morrison right now is a preacher? Who would ordain Jay Morrison to be a preacher now after him stealing millions of dollars from black folk? He actually robbed the black church. He was going around doing seminars at black churches saying he was going to bring back the Tulsa real estate. He scammed the black church. Why is this man a preacher right now? Jay Morrison. Look it up. Yes, he is, Venus. Jay Morrison's a preacher. This is the shit I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. Jay Morrison, he's a preacher right now. Cover Up says, this may well have been the original intention to introduce women into clergy to herald the downfall of Christianity. Nah, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that, Cover Up. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that. Because there's always been women around. Now, what made them bring them into clergy? I don't think it was for that reason. I don't think so. I don't think so. Shout out to the underrated one in the building. Got the usher on his lip. Bro, this man be having clusters around his mouth. I'm just trying to understand why no men say anything about this. That's what I want to know. Venus says, Sheep Stay Sleep. Can you address how the men? No, I'm not addressing no men on YouTube. I'm not addressing none of these dudes on YouTube, Venus. Okay? We're not doing that. We're not doing that. No. Sorry, Venus. Because I will not have a bunch of these lames trying to clout chase and say, oh, look, Venus went to this nigga show. I don't even know this nigga. And now we ain't doing that. We ain't doing that. No, man. Shout out to you, though. No, man. I'm not addressing nothing about niggas on YouTube at all. At all. We ain't doing that. We're going to stick to the topic, which is why there's no strong men in the church. That's what we're going to stay on. Why ain't no strong men in the church? See, because nigga could speak out what he want to say on YouTube, because that can be considered entertainment. And that's what these niggas are, entertainers. Just like most of these goddamn preachers today. They entertainers. They there to make you laugh. They there to make TikTok. They not there to call out the devil. See, that's what these niggas forgot. Discipleship is about. See, that's what they forgot discipleship is about. They forgot discipleship is about calling out the devil. Not teaching people how to pray for prosperity. That's not discipleship. That's not what Paul did. That's not what John did. That's not what Isaiah did. That's not what Micah did. That's not what none of the prophets came and talked about. None of them had a prosperity sermon. None of them. He said, you give all your grievances to the Lord. They didn't get up there and start telling you, well, if you do this and then you do this and you can't ask the Lord for nothing until you do this and then you pay your tithes and then, no! That's not your assignment. All you got to do is look at the men in the Bible. Which one of them had a prosperity preach? Which one of them taught you how to keep your bills paid? Which one? Name them. Name me a prophet that told you to pray to get your bills paid. Name one. Name one. Lord, I just don't, I don't want to struggle no more, Lord. Every man who was ordained by the Lord struggled. What are you talking about? So let me get this clear. You think you supposed to be riding in style when you with God? Huh? Let's talk. So you think you supposed to be riding in style when you're with God? See, when you're with God, you got a V12 engine. Huh? See, this is what you niggas talk about. See, I listen because I know what you niggas want. You want comfort. You don't want salvation. You want comfort, nigga. You want comfort. That's what you want. And God gonna grant you that comfort. He gonna get you them heated seats. Right, nigga? That's why you're being faithful. For them heated seats in that Bentley. Huh? That jacuzzi. You always wanted a jacuzzi. What about the men that's sitting in the church ready to kill themselves? And you thinking about a fucking jacuzzi? Excuse me. And you thinking about a jacuzzi? You thinking about first class flights and sipping wine, wiggling your toes, Negro? Oh, that's what you think your job or working for the Lord is? Sitting up, getting your toes done, wiggling your toes, drinking your mimosa at the spa. We at the spa, y'all. Yup, we with Venus at the spa. Yup, they got mimosas and lamb chops. Yup, that's you niggas. That's y'all. You want to be at the spa with Venus, eating lamb chops and drinking mimosas. You know, they gave us mimosas, girl, when we was getting our toes done. Shoot. Much as I stomp for the Lord, I should get my toes done too with a little mimosa. And you wonder why people don't take y'all serious. You wondering why everybody on demon time. Because so are y'all. You got to ride in style if you with the Lord. See, look, here it go. Look. Here it go. Here it go. See, this is how they shut down the strong men. What's wrong with that though? See, this is how they shut down the strong men. When the strong men want to have order. See, ain't nobody tell you can't do nothing. See, that's what they take. See. See, if I was an old Jamal Bryant, Michael Todd ass nigga, see, they wouldn't have took what I said serious. But being that I'm not one of those men, now it's time to shame me. Now it's time to make me feel bad. Now it's time to make me feel like I'm telling people what to do. See that? See, this how the strong men got silenced in the church. It starts like this. Innocent. It's innocent. She not being mean. This is innocent. But what's wrong with that? See how they do it? See how they do it? Look, and she and she know she doing it. This is what they do. Look, why you doing it? Because you know y'all. Look. Now it was a joke. See what they do? See what they do? See what they do? It was a joke. See what they do? See what they do? See? Y'all see? This is the norm. Now, if I was Pastor Jamal Bryant would have said some shit like this. Girl, you know I'm with it. And then Venus would have been like, yup, in the name of the Lord. And he would have let her get away with that shit. This is why there's no strong men in the church. Because women, I'm going to say it again, women run the church. Women. Because the last thing you better not do is upset the women. Because when the women get upset, the men get the moving. You don't notice that? The men get the moving. But the men ain't moving on their own accord. The men ain't building on their own accord. The men ain't walking around fixing shit on their own accord. The men are doing what the woman tell them. Oh, we need this and we need that, and then we need that up there, and then we need 5 more of those up there. Men ain't in charge of shit. What you talking about? What you talking about? Shout out to Venus. Appreciate you for coming through, Venus. Exactly, Shonda. Come on now. What up, Jay Smart? Salute. This is why the strong men are silenced in the church. Because then things are going to get in order. See? And a lot of men, a lot of weak men who are in the church, they rather for things to stay the same. That way, they're not held accountable for not doing anything. See that? The spirit of sloth. That's why these men won't speak up. Because if you keep speaking up, they're going to want you to do something. And if you don't know what to do, they're going to tell you, nigga, you might as well shut up. Because we doing stuff. See that? So the men who don't really want to do shit, right? They just let the women handle it. So they don't get blamed for not doing nothing. Because they're not held responsible to do anything anyway. See that? So who's responsible for them children not growing up right? The mother. See this? But see, it's because you don't have no strong men in leadership positions that's going to empower the weaker men. They need strong men to speak life into them, like we do over here on Sheep Stay Sleep TV. Because we are our own agency. One hand wash the other, both wash the face. You got to speak life into these strong men. You can't just let them sit there and think they just listening and think they just get it. No, they don't. They hurt, they beaten, they battered. They don't get it. They don't even understand. They don't even know what you're talking about. But all you know how to talk about is, oh, you just keep praying and a big blessing is on the way. That's all you niggas know how to talk about. This man could have damn near lost his life last night. And he came to church today to hear a word from the Lord. And you know what he heard? God got a good blessing on the way for you. Some generic shit. That shit people say when they don't know what to say up there. You're not speaking to us. You're not speaking to us. How the hell? Why is Kirk Franklin and all the goddamn gospel people, why they going to the Grammys? None of y'all speaking up about this. You don't think that this stuff is sermon worthy. You don't think you're supposed to speak against this stuff. When the prophets in the Bible spoke against it. What's wrong with y'all? They came into churches and called the people out. Thus saith the word of God. They did this. Why y'all not doing it? You scared? What you scared of? If you scared, nigga, then God didn't appoint you. God didn't ordain you if you scared. You scared to offend somebody? Oh, you scared they not going to put nothing in that collection plate? Which one? Which one? Eddie Long was molesting boys right in the church for years. For years. And he had a whole goddamn group of men around him. You think some of them men didn't know he was sleeping with them boys? And you niggas said nothing about it. I'm talking to the men. Y'all said nothing. You said nothing. What up, Hassan? You said nothing. I don't understand this. You're not speaking against the evil. You're talking about everything else. You're not speaking to what is plaguing our life. You're not doing that. This is the problem. Too many niggas getting in that pulpit with an agenda. You're not just up there speaking the truth based on the word of God. You coming up there with an agenda. You supposed to be rebuking the devil, nigga. That's what you're supposed to be doing. Not teaching people how to save money. What prophet in the Bible taught us how to save money and taught us financial literacy? Which one? Huh? Which prophet in the Bible taught us how to save money? Huh? Or did we see every man that God sent to the people spoke against the evil that plagued the people? Which one? Because you niggas love talking about what God got on the way for us. Stop that imaginary, lofty ass shit. Because I don't listen to it. I know it's cap. I want somebody to talk to me. I want the word to talk to me. Always got some lofty shit to talk about. It's on the way. God just showed me it's on the... Shut up, nigga. Ain't nothing on the way but the rent. Think we still want to hear that shit? It's 2025. Oh, it's on the way. What, Christmas? Well, we gonna have to buy some more goddamn gifts? What's on the way? My child birthday? What's on the way? The phone bill? The cable bill? The internet bill? What's on the way, nigga? What's on the way? What's on the way? Stop lying. Because God ain't put you up there to teach us shit. That's why you up there talking that folly. Oh, it's on the way. Shut up, nigga. You on your way to the liquor store. Nobody want to hear that shit. All these people out here suffering. And it's on the way. What, the ambulance? Shonda says, luckier the devil was the lead angel of praise and worship in heaven. Before him and the other angels who followed him were casted out. Interesting how he infiltrates his plan through music and musicians. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's exactly what Lucifer has done. Absolutely, Shonda. And it's interesting how half of your goddamn preachers that is known in society, they all come from the goddamn music industry. They're all entertainers. They all entertainers. They all connected to the entertainment world. But these men talking about we were ordained by the Lord. Underrated one says, men in the church today don't serve God, but money in abundance, telling lies. It's not God's order. That's why some are lost. Facts. Facts. Of course you can go to the wine store, Scorpio. You could go wherever you want. You can go wherever you want. You sure can. But that video that we saw earlier, and I'm going to play it again. Play this one more time before I wrap up the show. But I wanted to play this, man, because you could tell that this dude was a zest monster. He was a zest monster. And he even said out of his mouth that he wanted to be a nurse. But he had all of these struggles because the first struggle that he had was with God making him who he made him to be. So let's listen to this brother one more time, and then we're going to wrap up today's show. Shout out to everyone in the building. Support the show, y'all. The links are going across your screen. They're also pinned to the top of the chat. Shout out to everyone, man.
what I know now that I didn't know then was the reason why I was so frustrated is because you can't put a purpose on an identity that's not yours.
See? So what he's breaking down is he's breaking down the frustration that these men go through during the transition. See, again, I'm not here to bash nobody in they whatever you want to be. But listen to what he said. He still had frustration. He still wasn't happy. This is why what God gives you is enough. It's enough. Because whenever you want more and more and more and more, you're never satisfied. And when you're never satisfied, you become frustrated. And you don't even know you're frustrated because of greed. Frustrated, you become frustrated because now you're wondering why you're still not content. It's because you're not looking for contentment, you're looking for satisfaction. You're looking to be satisfied. You're not looking to be content. Because enough is no longer enough. See, what God give you is not enough. See, God making you a man, that wasn't enough. See, that wasn't enough. That wasn't enough. That ain't enough. Because society said men ain't shit. So you being a man ain't enough. So at night, my name is Amber, but in the daytime, my name is Anthony. Because me being a man ain't enough. You know, because men don't make enough money. Enough. This is all of the devil. And he became frustrated. You heard this brother say he became frustrated. No matter how much accomplishments he had. Because he realized that God is enough. And when you start playing with the devil, you never full. You never satisfied. Because you're dealing with lust and carnality. And the deeper and deeper you fall into lust, the less and less you can ever be content. And lust isn't just sex. You can lust food. You can lust money. Lust is not just for sex. Understand this. Mon J11 says, if there are no apostles, then there should be no prophets, priests, evangelists, and no church. Are you talking to Shonda? Oh, okay. Shout out to my man Tone in the building. What up, Tone? Good to see you, Brody. Salute to you. Jay Smart says, but if she/he got turned out, where are the human resources to undo the damage? Exactly. In the church. In the church. Facts, Jay Smart. In the church. Not just in the world, but in the church. These resources, these types of things should be resources in the church. You shouldn't have to go to a worldly person. This stuff should be in the church. These people with these skill sets should be in the church.
You can't. You can't. You can try, and we are gifted and wired in such a way that we can make great careers and we can become successful. But we were all born and created with a specific purpose that's assigned to our identity. in the package in which we came here as. And so there was frustration in my life because I was trying to be a nurse and I was trying to do these things that fit the woman that I was becoming.
Well, bro, you can't.
See, you heard what he said? He attached a purpose to he found out that he didn't have a purpose because his purpose is attached to his identity. And he was becoming frustrated because he was living something that he realized he could never be. He realized, I'm never going to be a woman. I could never be a woman. And it was frustrating him. No matter how much he accomplished living as a woman, he dealt with these internal frustrations. See, that was God weighing on his heart because he knew he was out of order. He knows that identity and purpose is attached. And that he's a man. And that purpose is attached to his gender identity. That is the identity you're given at birth. Not what you want to be in the world. Not what you want to be, but who you are. That's where his frustration came from. And look, he's sitting in front of another gay man who's battling with the same things. Where's the strong men at? Where's the strong men? It's only a few of us left, man. There's only a few brothers out here really standing on business, man. Shout out to my bishop. Shout out to my bishop, man. Because he stand on business as a man of God, as a true man of the cloth. We got to get back and start handling church business, fellas, men of purpose. If you're saying you have a purpose, understand that only God give you a purpose. Only God gives you a purpose. Understand where that comes from. And every man has a purpose. You see? Every man has a purpose. Every woman has a purpose. You see? And as men, we need to find that. And it's sad that a lot of us can't find that in church today because there's a lot of men that are not speaking to us. And we feel like if we're going to be lost, I might as well be lost in the world. Why sit in church and be lost? See, I understand. Why sit in the church and hear lies when I hear lies outside every day? I'm coming in here because I want to hear something better. I need to hear something better. That's why I'm here. That's why I was talking about. That's why I know the other day, y'all probably thought I was a bit frustrated, man. But I wasn't frustrated. I'm just passionate about certain stuff. I don't want to come to church and talk about the game. It's not what I'm here for, bro. I came here because I need to be here, not just because I want to be. My need is more important than my want at this point in life. And there's a lot of brothers that are out here like that, man. And we just get ignored and shunned. Then it's always about, oh, that was a powerful brother. He could have been. Then you always hear that, man. Shout out to y'all. I appreciate y'all for pulling up to today's show. Great show, y'all. I appreciate every single one of y'all, man. Salute to everyone. Welcome to all the new supporters. Shout out to my lovely lady mods for holding it down today on this Sunday. Y'all know I don't really do too much shows on Sunday, but definitely wanted to bring this to you guys today. So shout out to my lovely lady mods for coming through and holding it down. Thank you so much, Shonda. I appreciate you. Shout out to everyone who has financially supported today's show. It's very much appreciated. Salute to y'all. Salute to y'all. Salute to all the visionaries. Make sure y'all get back here. So set y'all bell notifications because we will be back tomorrow, 10:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Y'all know how we do the DS1 Wake Up Show, y'all. The DS1 Wake Up Show, y'all. Tomorrow, we got a banger. The show is already set. The show is already set. We got a banger tomorrow, y'all. I'm going to show y'all how we coming tomorrow. I'm going to show y'all how we coming tomorrow, man. It's how we coming tomorrow. DS1 Wake Up Show. Shout out to my man Corey Love over there at the Love Network. He did a great breakdown from his point of view on a Terrence Howard Diddy situation. But we gonna cover that tomorrow. Y'all see Terrence Howard in the picture with Diddy. There you go. See, y'all know how I play over here. These niggas get to talking all that man shit. You ain't looking manly in that picture, buddy. His shoulders is like this. Yeah. Look like you was a little drunk, buddy. But we gonna get into that tomorrow. We gonna get into that tomorrow. Shout out to everyone for pulling up, man. I appreciate everyone. Salute to everyone, man. Shout out to my comrade, Po Boy Films. Salute my brother. Salute. I'm glad you was able to catch the show, bro. See, you was in the clouds. Yeah, you already know, Tone. I'm going to catch y'all back here tomorrow, 10:15 a.m. 10:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on Sheep Stay Sleep TV for the DS1 Wake Up Show. Y'all know how we do. Make sure y'all are here 10:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you so much, Queen Shay. I'll holler at you, Venus. Shout out to everyone for pulling up. Salute. I'm going to catch y'all in the morning. Make sure y'all here 10:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Catch the DS1 Wake Up Show. DS1 Ross, Sheep Stay Sleep TV. We'll catch y'all tomorrow. Peace.